Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Immigrant Blueprint channel. My name is Attorney Eboniano Foro. I am an immigration attorney who is located in New Jersey. I represent clients in all 50 states and around the world with immigration law matters. Today, I want to answer your frequently asked marriage-based green card questions, okay? Now, before I get into what those questions are, I want to talk a little bit about what is the marriage green card, right? The marriage-based green card. Now, the marriage-based green card is also known as a marriage-based permanent resident card or a marriage-based permanent resident visa, a spousal visa, and it is a U.S. immigration document that allows a foreign national to live and work in the United States as a lawful permanent resident based on their marriage to a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. To apply for a marriage-based green card, the foreign spouse must be married to a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. The marriage must be legally valid, and both parties must establish and intend to live together, build a future together. U.S. immigration authorities, they scrutinize the marriage to ensure that it's genuine and that couples did not get married for the purposes of obtaining immigration benefits fraudulently. Now, the couple is required to provide evidence of their bona fide marriage, such as joint financial documents, photos, affidavit, letters from friends and family, and so many more. There's so many different types of documents you can submit to prove that your marriage is bona fide. The process can be initiated either within the United States through adjustment of status or at a U.S. consulate or embassy in the foreign national's home country, and that process is called consular processing. Now, it's going to depend on the specific circumstances surrounding the couple's case. If the marriage is less than 2 years old at the time the foreign spouse obtained their green card, they will receive a conditional green card. And to remove the conditions and obtain a permanent green card, the couple must jointly file a petition to USCIS within the 90-day period before the conditional green card expires. The couple may also be required to attend an interview with U.S. immigration authorities to answer questions about their marriage and eligibility. Also, background checks and security screenings are also part of this process. It's important to note that the process of obtaining a marriage-based green card can be complex and time-consuming, and many couples that are going through this process or thinking about starting this process have many questions about what to expect, and I will be answering some of those questions here today. Now, the first question that I get a lot is, what is the process of obtaining a marriage-based green card? Now, I'll talk a little bit about what it was, and now I'll just share a little bit about what the process looks like. Now, the process typically involves filing the form I-130, which is the petition for alien relative. And this form is filed with USCIS, and it's the first step in establishing your bona fide relationship. When submitting the form I-130, you will also submit the form I-130A, which is a form that USCIS uses to collect additional information about the foreign spouse. This is also an opportunity for you to provide evidence of your marriage and prove that your marriage is real and genuine. If the foreign spouse is married to a U.S. citizen and they qualify, he or she may be able to apply for adjustment of status and get the green card from here in the United States. Adjustment of status allows the foreign spouse to apply for the green card without having to leave the country. And they also have the option to apply for a work permit and a travel document while they wait for their green card to be approved. If the foreign national is in their home country, then he or she will go through a different process called consular processing, and they will have to attend an interview at the U.S. embassy or consulate in their home country. Once approved, he or she will now travel to the U.S. and they will enter as green card holders. Another frequently asked question is, how long is the process? How long will it take? Now, I hate to give this very lawyerly answer, but it will depend. Processing times can vary But it typically takes several months to a year, or even 2 years, in some cases, for the marriage-based green card to be approved. All this is depending on various factors, such as the USCIS's workload at the time of processing, backlogs at the US embassy or consulate, and the applicant's specific circumstances. I've seen some cases get approved in just a few months, and I've seen some take as long as 3 years. It really depends on the individual case. Frequently asked question number 3, why did I get a 2-year green card instead of a 10-year? Now, I spoke a little bit about this in the previous question or introduction. If you received a 2-year green card when your marriage green card was approved, then you received what is known as a conditional green card. If your marriage is less than 2 years old when the foreign spouse received their green card, they're going to get a 2-year green card that is conditional, and they will have to apply to remove the conditions on their green card prior to the expiration date. If your marriage is more than 2 years old when you get the green card, then the foreign national spouse gets a permanent green card and does not have to go through the removal of conditions process. Frequently asked question number 4, can I work while I wait for my green card to be approved? This question applies to those foreign spouses who are doing the adjustment of status process and are in the United States. And the answer is yes, you can. However, you can only work if you're approved for a work permit. So when you apply for adjustment of status, you will need to complete a separate application form, which is called the I-765, and submit that with your application. And if you're approved, then you can work. Typically in our firm, when we file for our clients, we submit both an application for work authorization and for advanced parole so that our clients can travel out of the US and return while their green card application is pending. And also because there are long wait times that are currently happening at the time that I'm recording this video, it allows the applicant to work while they wait for their green card to be approved. Frequently asked question number 5, how soon after getting married should I apply for the marriage-based green card? This is a very popular question because I've heard so many different ideas and theories around when is the most appropriate time to file and apply for your green card. And the truth of the matter is that there is no real set time. USCIS is more concerned about the legitimacy and the bona fide nature of your marriage and that you are not committing marriage fraud. They're not so much concerned about how long you were married at the time of filing. Now, yes, it can be suspicious if, there are some cases where a couple, they recently met and then they get married and they have no real relationship history. However, I have seen cases where couples courted for a short period of time and went on to have real and genuine marriages. So what I like to say is don't focus so much on the timing of your filing. Instead, focus on how you can prove that you have a bona fide marriage and convey a true love story to the immigration officer that's going to be reviewing your case. I will say one thing, that if you are here on a temporary visa, like a visitor's visa, you want to remember that those visas are considered non-immigrant visas. And the intent behind it is that you are coming to the United States on a temporary purpose. So if you're on one of those visas, I always advise that you would talk with an immigration attorney before taking any steps within the first 90 days, like getting married, so that you don't jeopardize any future immigration case that you possibly will have. Frequently asked immigration question number 6. How do I prove my marriage is bona fide and real? The simple answer is that you need to prove and provide supporting evidence that you both intend to build a life and a future together. That's just straightforward, right? And this can be done in a number of ways. Like I mentioned earlier, you can provide joint financial records, like bank statements. You can show that you're commingling your finances, showing that you have joint bills, proof that you live together. Pictures are always great. Letters from family and friends are also good. And I always say, even a written statement from you, the couple, telling your own love story can be very helpful. I like when couples write a personal statement because documents alone don't always paint the picture of your relationship. I mean, it can. However, in some cases, Including a narrative and your personal story really helps to bring to life and pull together the entire history of your relationship, especially in cases where the couple may not have strong supporting evidence and documents. I found that a narrative can be very helpful in those types of cases. Frequently asked question number 7. I heard the fiance visa is faster. Should we just apply for that? Should we just go the fiance visa route? This is another popular question because historically, the fiance visa process has been known to be a faster process, right? And by faster, I mean that if the foreign fiance is overseas, they could get to the US faster. However, the fiance visa process has been taking longer over the past few years, and it is also a multi-step process. And depending on the nature of your circumstances, it may or may not be the right process for you. With the fiance visa, you would have to first complete the Form I-129F with the USCIS, proving the nature of your relationship. Once that's approved, the foreign fiance will still have to apply an interview with the embassy or consulate in their home country. And wait times for interviews are going to vary from country to country, with some countries having extremely long wait times. So that's something to consider. Once the foreign fiance has been approved for the K-1 and enters the United States, you still have to get married within 90 days. For some couples, 90 days is not a feasible amount of time. For some couples, it might be fine. But when thinking about these two processes, you want to keep in mind that for the fiance visa process, when you get here, the foreign spouse gets to the United States, the process is not over. You still have to apply for the green card through adjustment of status. And you can't work during that time. Unless you're applying for a work permit, you're not going to be able to work. So there's still a waiting period that you have to go through if you do the fiance visa process. No process is better than the other. They're just different, and each couple has to decide which process is going to be better for them. Frequently asked question number 8, can I apply for an interview waiver? I get this question very often, particularly for couples who are applying together in the United States. Interview waivers are discretionary. We are seeing that USCIS are waiving certain marriage-based cases. However, there is no guarantee that you will have one. The best way to increase your chances of getting a waiver is preparing a very strong case from the onset. Frequently asked question number 9, can I apply for a green card after entering the US with a B2 visa? So I touched on this briefly when I was answering a previous question, but I think it's a really important question, so I don't mind answering it again because it's so important. The US immigration system puts a distinction between an immigrant visa and a non-immigrant visa. An immigrant visa, which is a lawful permanent resident green card, it allows you as an individual to work and live permanently in the United States. A non-immigrant visa, which is the B2 visa, right, is only meant for vacation, tourism, or any short-term visit to the United States. When you're entering on a non-immigrant visa, such as the B2 visa, you cannot enter with the intention of staying and adjusting your status. In other words, you cannot have what we call immigrant intent. And this refers to the intent to remain in the United States at entry with a non-immigrant visa. If this is the case, the immigration authorities might classify this as misrepresentation or fraud, and this can further affect you in the future when you're applying for other immigration benefits. This is why you often hear attorneys referring to something called a 90-day rule, right? That you shouldn't make any permanent decisions within the first 90 days of arriving on a temporary visa. Before you do anything, if this is your situation, be sure to consult with an immigration attorney before filing any petition or even making any permanent decisions. Okay. Frequently asked question number 10. What will they ask me during the marriage green card interview? So the marriage green card interview, the purpose of the interview is for U.S. immigration authorities to learn more about the couple, to determine whether the marriage is bona fide, and also to determine admissibility and eligibility of the foreign spouse who's applying for the green card. They're going to ask you questions about your relationship, like how you met, about your family. They can ask you questions about your day-to-day life living together. They will also ask the foreign spouse about their history and their background. Now, the types of questions will vary based on the particular couple and their facts. It can change. There are general questions that you'll see from case to case. And if you want to get a sample of the type of questions that they could ask you during the marriage-based interview, you can go ahead and download my free ebook, the Marriage Green Card Guide. Learn how to get your marriage-based green card in the United States in just 3 easy steps. I will go ahead and link that in the description for you. It's a really good book, very detailed, and I do offer some sample questions and how to prepare for the marriage-based green card interview. I hope that you found this video helpful, guys. If you did, please click the like button and also share this video with your family, with your friends, and anyone that you feel will find it valuable, anyone that's thinking about going through the marriage-based green card process. Share this video with them. If you would like me to answer any of your immigration questions, leave a comment below. I will really try to go ahead and answer it in a future video for you. If you want to talk to me about a personal immigration matter, then you can go ahead and give me a call. You can text me or even WhatsApp me on the number on the screen, 201-565-0099, or you can click the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you like it. Please like and share, and I will see you next time. God bless.